Yo, everybody, welcome back to the Pixelists. I hope someone out there enjoys the music as much as I do, because I like to just let it ride for a second.
It's a good vibe check for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't remember if I said this or not, but hello, we're the Pixelists. I'm Will, that's Blake, and together we like to talk all things nerdy. And today we're coming at you from the middle of an ice storm, actually. So in case our power goes out or something, I don't think we're really at risk of that, but figured, I'd throw out the warning. But today we're talking about The Legend of Vox Machina, episodes 10, 11, and 12, the finale of season 1. And I'm excited to jump into it, man.
Me too. I say oof not because it was bad, but because now we have to wait for season 2.
I know, our long watch begins.
The long night.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too long though,
In HBO's world is only 1 episode, so could be shorter than me.
Don't get me started, man. We might need to do an episode on just Game of Thrones season 8, and
we just got to let it go, man. Let the hurt, let the healing begin.
It really does hurt, though. It really does. It had the potential to be like the best show of all time, and
maybe it'll be something like prequel memes, where like now there's so much like affection for the prequel, for the 3 Star Wars prequel movies.
You think it might eventually turn on the other way?
I don't know. It's just funny to me how like you randomly venture over to that subreddit and there's just so much like, I mean, it's born out of a bit of satire, it's prequel memes, but there's also like, oh, that part's so great, and so it's kind of like an appreciation for like your ugly child, I guess. So
okay, it'll be let's keep tabs on that, see how that evolves over the next.
We're in the rage cycle still.
Yeah,
like
I definitely
rage and disbelief cycle. So,
but anyway, we digress. Maybe a Game of Thrones episode somewhere in our future. But today we're talking about The Legend of Vox Machina, and in particular, I've been excited to talk to you about this as someone who watched a little bit of campaign 1, but not all of it, to kind of see your thoughts. I've been asking. I have like a handful of people that I basically held at gunpoint and said, you're watching this show. And so I've been really interested to see what their thoughts on it are. And I guess if we don't have anything else really to discuss besides, Witcher season 2 video coming soon, we can jump right into this.
Yeah, no, I the last 3 I really enjoyed, obviously, but talking about, I guess it's appropriate we talk about like the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the past we've done like a separate like season as a whole video, but I think maybe it just makes sense just to kind of talk about them collectively here.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, overall I really liked it. I liked how my criticisms earlier, which were based around like it was moving so quickly, that it really felt like these final 3 really slowed it down. Like I kind of really felt like I could kind of be in each moment before it moved too fast. The season as a whole did feel a bit abrupt, and I think it's only because you're just whittling down so much content to 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Right. It was great television, a great show, great moments, loved the characters, and honestly, pairing it with your Easter egg videos has been good too, to see kind of like how did things play out in the live stream, how similar were they? And I know you like to in those videos cut those live stream moments too, which is really nice also. But what was your reaction as someone who saw the live stream?
I really liked it. I mean, it was, I don't even know what they would have had to have done for me to be like, this sucked, like I don't even know if that was possible, like just admitting my own bias here, but I thought they knocked it out of the park. I think we've talked about this at numerous occasions, but like I just was really excited for this because it felt like mastery and passion are meeting. Like these people that like these characters in this story mean so much to them, and they get to have full creative control to translate it to this new medium. So I was always gonna love it probably, but I'm glad that I actually did, and something didn't happen that made me be like, oh my god, they ruined it.
We're pretty unabashedly in love with Critical Role content, so
yeah, but
it's hard for us not to like it.
Yeah, and I did. I thought that I'm actually going through and rewatching episodes 10, 11, and 12 right now. So I kind of rambling here. Blake and I actually watched them together, and we might put out a reaction video. That's new to us though, so we'll have to look into it. But so I had only seen it that one time until like right now today. I'm rewatching them, so I'm really enjoying my second time through these last 3 episodes. And anyway, the long and the short of what I'm getting to is I think these final 3 are probably my favorite 3 of the whole season, which is it's nice to end on a high note like that, you know, just keep getting better. But I thought they did a fantastic job of adapting the story to 22 minutes, you know, like you said. And one of the things they even spoke of was they were going to make some changes, like even throw some surprises at people like me who've seen campaign 1. And, you know, that makes you a little bit like, oh, like, what are you changing type of thing
right.
when you initially heard it. But, you know, after pouring through them, especially doing those Easter egg videos and comparing what happened, I think they made great changes. Like everywhere they made a change, it made a lot of sense, you know, whether to serve the truncated time frame they had or just to make like a story beat more impactful. So this has become a long rant, but loved it.
Yeah. I mean, and I wouldn't have even known any difference since I hadn't seen the live stream. But yeah, there wasn't really anything that I thought. I mean, we talked a little bit about Pike's story, feeling a bit clunky. But you know, in the grand scheme of the entire season, pretty small criticism.
Yeah.
And otherwise, nothing really felt strangely out of place or even like obviously like, okay, that was some kind of Band-Aid truncation for something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only big criticism is that it's already over. You know, I would have loved and obviously this is like the world of endless, you know, I'm imagining a world of endless finances and time and energy and resources, all those things. But I would have loved like a 16 episode season.
Yeah.
Just a few more, just to flesh out some of those moments. But otherwise, yeah, like you said, I thought it was great. Loved it. So
yeah, and my hope is that, so, you know, they did the Kickstarter and that's kind of how this all started, which basically fully funded a season 1. And then they took that and eventually landed at Amazon, and Amazon said, we're going to go ahead and give you a season 2 as well. So we already know that a 12 episode season 2 has been greenlit, but my hope is that like this does so well or this performs so well that they either like go ahead and greenlit season 3 too, or maybe they say like, all right, season 2 is going to be 16 episodes now. Because I agree, like give us the more the merrier, really. So
sure.
I just hope that and we probably maybe talk about this a little bit later, but as far as season 2, I really hope that they don't try to tell the entire next arc in just one season, because I think it really needs at least 2 seasons. An argument could be even be made for 3.
Wow.
So
with the dragons flying in at the end?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. All right.
Which we can talk a little bit more about that, I guess. Or I guess we could just do it now, but
yeah, I mean, I'm guessing the only data point, I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about without like spoilers, right? Because we want to protect people like me who maybe just watched Legend of Vox Machina. Maybe they're watching this reaction video or discussion video. But I know I think this is the same character that's referenced in EXU with the scar in Iman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay. That's all I'll say, but that's kind of what I gathered. Because I know in our EXU videos, I asked about like what's going on here, and you kind of gave like a very high level, you know, this is what happened. So, but nothing more than, you know, who was in play.
Right. So yeah, that is kind of a piece of this. And but yeah, so like this season 1 basically covered the Briarwood arc of campaign 1, and I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but the next arc is basically it's related to those dragons that show up at the end of the finale, and that takes place over, I think, either double or triple the amount of like live streams than the Briarwood arc did. So there's like a lot to cover.
And how many episodes was the Briarwood arc? Like 20, 25 episodes?
20, yeah, like 20, give or take, like, you know, 5 in either direction. This was, you know, probably more like 40 or 50.
Yeah, wow. And then 116 episodes total.
Yeah, either 115 or 117 for some reason. I don't remember which,
Okay.
but something like that.
Yeah. So this takes us to like 2/3 through campaign 1, I guess.
Yeah, basically, because also the Briarwood doesn't start till like episode 20. So
Right.
like 1 through 20 of the stream, just they're skipping that entirely. So after the Briarwood, we're at like ep 40-ish of out of 115 or 117 or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
okay.
this is like a big, nice, chunky part of campaign 1 is this whole next saga we're getting into.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, I mean, they do 20 episodes in a season. I guess if there's 40 plus for this next arc, yeah, I guess it would be kind of hard to imagine it all done in one season of television. It already feels pretty quick. So
Yeah. So I mean, I sure like, I feel like if the show did terribly and they're like, all right, well, they already greenlit season 2, so we're going to get that, but we're probably not going to get any more, then maybe you go for it. But hopefully, and I trust them that they're not going to try to like pack it all in. I assume they're probably hoping for 2 or 3 seasons for this next part as well, but I guess we'll see.
yeah, I mean, Critical Role feeling like a transition to like a more D&D media-esque company. Like I know the team's talked about like maybe wanting to like even create a game at some point.
Yeah.
I would see them, my gut would tell me they want to go all in on making the show have some longevity to it. And so planning, creating season 2 with the presumption that there will be a season 3. Have we seen any kind of like numbers or like how season 1 fared? Like, do we know?
I haven't. I'm interested to look into that. I know when it first came out, like those first 3 episodes, it was the #1 show. Like on, like it's like on Netflix. You can see like Netflix top 10 or whatever. Amazon has something similar, and it was #1. I think some Jack Reacher show came out, and that became #1. But I'm pretty sure it's been like top 3 ever since it came out. So I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I have to imagine that that's really good. So we'll see. I mean, now that it's over, I was kind of hoping for an announcement of like they already greenlit season 3 too. But I haven't seen anything like that yet.
Yeah, I know they recently put out like a announcement of season 2 being greenlit, even though we already knew it. But it was kind of like hey, if you're a bit new to all this, we do have season 2 coming. So
Yeah,
maybe that's why they didn't mention season 3.
yeah. And I mean, I guess if you're Amazon, there's no real rush. Like maybe wait until season 2 is about to drop to announce that, since if you're them, you might as well see how it continues to evolve.
Right. I'm excited for it. I got a lot of questions from season 1, specifically around the Whispered One and the floating orb, which I love the scene where it's like our holy people are already inspecting it. It's probably nothing, as the guy gets like torn asunder sucked into it. Did that happen in the campaign?
So not like that. So what happened in the campaign is Keyleth actually went up to it, and she because they didn't know what it was, so they were like inspecting it or whatever, and so she like messes with it, and Matt's like, roll a strength save, and she rolls a natural 20. And so he's like, okay, you're really lucky, and you just take 18 points of damage. So like that's kind of like the translation became of the priest that gets like sucked into it. Like she basically is lucky she walked away with her hand because she rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it didn't happen exactly like it did in the show, but sort of.
I just loved it. It's probably nothing. It's probably safe. What a way to go, man.
Ugh. And we'll maybe get some more answers about what's going on there and some future.
So is it
episodes.
Is it implied that it was too soon, like before, like it wasn't quite the solstice moment? Is why? Okay,
I think so. Because they were waiting for the celestial solstice, man. I wonder if like Matt kind of knew about the timing of all these things. Like we're kind of jumping. For those of you that haven't seen campaign 3, the celestial solstice is a thing right now in campaign 3. So I wonder if that's just like a fortuitous.
I mean, we say it's a thing. We don't have like confirmation that it's a thing.
That's a thing.
No one's talking about the solstice.
It's a thing.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Matt to kind of like weave that in
Sure.
yeah, never mind. You get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think because of the solstice, it was a little early that, you know, the ritual she was trying to do didn't really have the oomph she needed or expected.
Yeah. And then Grog took the blade, which I don't know what it's called. I just called it like the hungering blade in my mind. But
yeah,
I mean, is that a possessed blade, or because it doesn't like whisper at him or something?
So in the show or in the campaign?
In the campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, there might be some more to that comes out, but yeah, this
I see you.
You know, Silas is a pretty evil guy, so any sword he might be using is probably you know, got some darkness to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole combat scene was really great. And then the other thing I was wondering too was, I mean, Cassandra, was she a double agent the whole time, or is it just like as the Briarwoods were coming in that they kind of re-charmed her, I guess?
I think she was obviously she was like been kind of manipulated and like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, Silas literally can charm people as well. So I think it was both. You know, it wasn't just that he didn't charm her and that's the only reason that it happened. Like she's been conflicted, you know, like
Lady got her throat cut, so I was kind of like, I mean, surely by now you
yeah, so that was pretty true to the campaign, that how all that played out with her kind of betraying them in the acid trap room type of thing. I don't remember the explicit details on if she even was explicitly charmed like we got in the show. It was more so just a gray character of like not knowing kind of what her place was yet, like because you know Briarwoods were the only family she'd known for the past 5 years or whatever. But yeah, I was wondering how they were going to play that. Especially, I hoped they were still going to be true to that whole story. But the whole gun barrel scene, you know, when like Scanlan asks and the shadow points to his head, I thought that, you know, was probably just like a really cool imagery moment. But it made me wonder if they were going to change it and the last barrel like wouldn't say Cassandra and it maybe like would say Percy or something. But they ended up sticking to what they did in the campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool moment. Were you expecting that at all?
Sort of. Yeah, I had read some comment. I don't know if it was on our YouTube channel or someone had posted somewhere that was basically like, yeah, Cassandra's name as the sixth thing. And I was like, okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't dig into it. Yeah. So I didn't think of it. So it still was like a surprising moment for me of like, oh, the double cross. I actually thought, having just seen that comment, I actually thought it would be something like the demon for the gun was just going to have like this insatiable like hunger and would be like, okay, now I need one of your own kind of situation. That's kind of where my headcanon went. So it was still surprising.
Yeah. And that kind of happened too, you know, toward the end where like Grog and Keyleth's name was showing up on it.
Right. Yeah. And I love Scanlan throwing, you know, Percy's like, the curse is broken. Totally safe. He's like, nah, I'm good. And he throws it in there and the demon like does one last, you know, hurrah.
Yeah. And that actually happened. That was
okay, cool.
And it was I haven't like rewatched that part yet for my research. So I might not be explaining this perfectly as it happened, but I seem to remember it being like pretty tense. Like Percy was like, do not throw my gun in there. Like he was like very defensive about it and you know, did not want that to happen, but Scanlan was just like, no, I'm doing it. And then we kind of get like the moment of Matt describing in some form or fashion that like that was like a good thing to have done, and so he was like, oh. It was a good moment. I'm gonna try to find it and I'll put it in whatever episode that ends up being.
Okay. No, yeah, that was good. Yeah, and then the combat with the Briarwoods was awesome. That whole episode was really intense. I guess episode 11, I think it was.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome. It was super anime battle.
Yeah, and then Keyleth frying Silas was awesome too.
Bro, that was very Piccolo special beam cannoning Raditz and Goku with like Grog holding him, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. That was really good.
I love that. One thing I wanted to touch on was the whole summoning when we kind of see the Whispered One for a second when she completes her ritual. That appears to be the same entity that showed up in Pike's.
Yeah, you're right. It
Astral
did
plane.
actually. Yeah, and I watched your Easter egg video on that, and you said something similar to that. Yeah, that it seems a bit intentional that they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
which is what even makes that even so awkward and weird. Because, right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that because you mentioned it earlier. Kind of one of our critiques was the way that Pike thing was handled. Which, not that it was handled awfully, it just was kind of an unsatisfying. Anyway, we're not going to get into it. But my point is that the Whispered One, since he showed up during all that, I'm wondering if there is something else going on. And it wasn't just as simple as, you know, pick your friends or your religion or whatever. Like,
yeah, I mean, that makes it a bit better to me. I mean, it still makes it a bit odd that I can't think of the name. The Everlight wasn't like, yeah, and you got problems, by the way. Yeah. Like, it would seem like, you know, oblivious to it.
Yeah.
But and we said this in the critique earlier, but her coming back and Grog being like, you know, you seem different. And she's like, I know who I am now. That just didn't land well because we never saw her conflicted previously in who she was and who her identity was. So like that's clunky. And then what we just said, the presence of that face, and you guys can go check the Easter egg video for this. But I know you grabbed the still image, which it is the Whispered One. It's the Whispered One's, I mean, pretty obviously the same face. So yeah, it's odd that she was like, I'm cursed by Delilah. And it's like, you're not cursed. And it's like, I don't know. You seem pretty cursed.
Yeah. And the priestess in one of those scenes in that episode even says like, the darkness is like, you need to rest, like the darkness is too much or something. So like there seems to be some sort of acknowledgement of like something beyond just her like indecisiveness. That is like maybe the indecisiveness is why, and indecisiveness isn't a good word, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe that's the reason for her like distance from the Everlight, that she then closes and, you know, can cast spells again. But maybe just on top of that, there is like a corruption to her that I guess maybe got there when Delilah attacked her or something. But yeah, the fact that it was like the same entity, to me, it seems like maybe for some reason Vecna or the Whispered One is attached to her, not attached to her, but like there's just something going on. So we'll see. I don't know. If there was, it would make those earlier Pike scenes, I think, a little stronger to me.
Yeah, it would make more sense for sure. Still a little clunky, but makes more sense.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of the Whispered One, if I'm Delilah, I'm pissed. I'm thinking, do you know everything I've been through for this?
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how much this now pops up in campaign 3. Because her body got incinerated in acid or dissolved in acid.
Right.
Does Cassandra deliver the final blow, by the way, in the live stream?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It doesn't, it's kind of different again, but at least in terms of like the moment that's building up to that. But I'm pretty sure, she does. Cassandra, I think like in the show, right? Percy was like wrestling with it and Cassandra just does it, kind of. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, I don't remember, honestly.
I think
she's actually, no, in the show, she's like giving like her big speech, and then all of a sudden Cassandra just, you know, like right in the throat. I think in the campaign, which again I haven't rewatched these parts yet, but I think it was more of like a Percy was about to do it, and instead he was like, no, like you deserve this because they've been torturing you for the past 5 years or whatever, and so then she does it. Right. But so she did get the killing blow in both cases, but slightly different. Yeah. Okay. So presumably dying in the ziggurat, this place of like huge evil. I think we got confirmation that this was one of the reasons why they took Whitestone, was not just for the residuum, but also they were, I guess, directed by the Whispered One to find this ziggurat. Because I was trying to parse together, like, did they build this ziggurat? Like, what happened here? But
no, yeah, it was already there.
Yeah, so they were directed here. So this is like a place of deep evil, I'm presuming, and she is disintegrated in this place. So I guess it makes sense now for campaign 3, her being some kind of evil spirit, evil patron. It's not really clear. It also makes you wonder, even for Silas, are we going to see Silas in some way in campaign 3?
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen campaign 3, watch it. But what we're referring to is that one of the characters in campaign 3, apparently, I mean, I guess this isn't like 1,000,000% confirmed, but a lot of signs are pointing to the fact that Delilah Briarwood is their patron. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how we get from what we know from the Legend of Vox Machina to that in campaign 3. And I don't know that, so it's not like a,
being coy.
Yeah. Dang it, what was I gonna say? I had a thought, but it's fleeting from me right now. Maybe it'll come to me in a second. I hate that.
Yeah, must have not been important.
I guess not.
So let's see, what else should we talk about from the episode? Like other big. I'm curious what happens with Anna.
Oh, Anna Ripley.
Anna Ripley, yeah.
Yeah.
Really curious about her.
Yeah, so yeah, you might find out more if we get some more episodes. But yeah, she's a really interesting kind of parallel to Percy, I think, because they're both kind of like these really smart people. And I liked, she's missing an arm, and I like kind of how he blasted his hand at the end of the episode. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of a nice parallel too. But yeah, she's kind of his foil a little bit. I like to imagine it as like if he'd gone the other way, like if he hadn't have found Vox Machina and maybe had like let, if not Orthax explicitly, just kind of like the darker sides of him take over, that she kind of might have been what he turned into.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, and it does make me wonder, she was on his list, right?
Yes.
Okay, but now he doesn't have the list anymore.
Right.
But does he still have like a desire for revenge for her?
I'm sure. I mean, like he made that pact with Orthax, and so there's that like tangible essence to it, and hopefully that's been dealt with now. But I think still, obviously, Percy as a person, like he wanted revenge. That's why he made that pact. He's not just like probably absolved of all of those hard feelings all of a sudden just because the gun's gone. So I think he definitely still is probably wanting revenge.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to see. I guess this season, I guess the next arc, are there still like some breadcrumbs for like the orb, the ziggurat, and a Ripley, that whole thing, or is that pretty put to bed? And these dragons is like the primary focus.
I don't. So one, they may just kind of tweak things to make more sense for the animated show, but I don't think that those things are going to be like at the forefront next season, because I think, I don't want to get into it, but there's kind of other things that are more important that happen.
Yeah.
That it definitely does come up again, but I don't know if we can expect to see that in season 2 or not. Yeah, but maybe we would, because like I said, it's an animated show and they kind of set up those things. They might not want to leave it hanging for an entire season.
Right. Well, I liked how the cliffhanger on what it ended on, because it was a nice like dovetail for how the season started.
Yeah.
Which was this, blue dragon that kind of put the whole thing together, was, hey, we need to get everyone together to talk about this dragon thread. So I like how, because I did find myself thinking, like during the ceremony at the end, I was like, wasn't there like a big deal with dragons or something? Like, wasn't that an issue? So I'm glad they they addressed that, I guess, or didn't leave it hanging.
Yeah, and you know, the first two episodes, that story with General Krieg, just to remind anybody that forgot, was not part of the Twitch stream. That was stuff that happened before they started streaming on Twitch. So it was kind of cool for, I mean, that unrelated is not the right word because it was part of their game. Just we never got to see it, but it was kind of cool to then tie that to the game with what the finale is, because you know, if you'll recall, when they're in Krieg's lair, you know, Keyleth touches that thing and the eye shows up and then it cracks. This isn't like a spoiler, but like that's kind of maybe why that, like, I don't know. I don't know if I should say too much, but that was definitely foreshadowing what happened at the finale there.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay.
So it wasn't just like a completely unrelated story that then, all right, episode 3 is basically the real start of season 1. Like that is, there's a connected line there.
Yeah, okay.
If you will.
Okay. So season 2 and 3 maybe can cover maybe this storyline, and then maybe like a season 4, like wrapping up loose ends from the Briarwood arc.
I think if I had the perfect world, give me 5 seasons.
Yeah, okay.
And I think 2-ish for the dragons, and then maybe some stuff. Then 4 and 5 to cover the rest. I don't necessarily know how you split it up necessarily, but you could probably do it in 4 seasons, all of campaign 1, like if you had to. But I'm hoping for 5 because I think you could really let some stuff breathe.
5 seasons in a movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I remembered what I was going to say a minute ago. So before it leaves me again, we're kind of past the subject now. But on the whole, you were saying that like the ziggurat under Whitestone and stuff. I've been wanting to like talk about all that in the breakdown videos, but I wanted to wait. So I think I'm gonna give like a whole lore dump on all that in either episode 11 or 12's breakdown. So I know that's not satisfying to hear right now, but just for those types of things you were wondering, that is coming.
Yeah, okay. No, that's cool. I'll check that out. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about from this, either the series as a whole or these last 3 episodes?
I mean, I could sit here and talk like forever about moments that I love, but I'm not gonna bore everyone with that.
That part. Yeah. We love Critical Role.
Remember that movie you were in with the we both walked on the glass?
It's cool that we both remember it.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, loved it. I'm glad you liked it. And I don't want to spoil anything, but while we're talking about like that cliffhanger moment, I was hoping / betting that was how they were going to end season 1. I just didn't know where in that moment they would like cut. And, you know, they obviously cut just with the dragons kind of approaching. And, you know, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but that moment in the actual Twitch campaign is one of the craziest moments. Like if you can't help yourself, anyone out there, and you just like want to know what happens next, I would definitely go recommend watching that episode of Critical Role. I wish I had the specific one to reference you to right now, but maybe I'll throw it in the comments or something for anyone that's interested.
Yeah, I might check that out then. Okay.
It was awesome.
Cool, man.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2, episode 1.
Well, for you guys who want more D&D content, we do these discussions on campaign 3. It's never too late to check those out. We'll do we'll do like a summary video of like what's happened so far, sometime like in the next 5 episodes, I would guess.
Yeah, I think maybe like episode 20, we could do like a 1 to 20 recap or something.
Yeah, that works. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoyed it, and you can always follow us for other content that we do at the Pixelists on Twitter and here on our YouTube.
Yep.
So
yeah, thanks for swinging by. And if you are a Legend of Vox Machina newbie, you checked out the show, you liked it, check out campaign 3. Like you won't regret it. It's been good, and it's still very early on, so you can catch up pretty quick. And we recap every episode. We have a playlist on the channel, so you can catch up before next episode if you want. So join us.
Yeah. Thumbnail?
Oh yeah.
I was thinking maybe like seal of approval or something, or
okay, that works for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I'm giving it like a 10 out of 10. Is what.
Yeah, I should have done 2 thumbs up, but
No,
I'll save it for next season.
everyone judge him in the comments for only giving 1 thumbs up.
Yeah, it was like a kind of like a nice, you know,
Cool. Yeah, like a cool guy thumbs up. I get you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll catch you later.
All
See
right,
you
y'all.
guys.
Bye.